Welcome back to the vlog. Happy Monday. We actually are just about to jump into a sales call with a brand that works with one of our 3PL pilot customers. They're opening up a warehouse soon and they're looking for a WMS option, and our pilot customer referred us to them. The call's going to be with 3 other guys, and then Afra's going to show them a quick demo of what we have, and then we're going to run them through our pilot plan with our 2 other pilot customers, and then how they would slot in depending on the timeline of when they can get their stock over to their warehouse and have their entire new operations set up.
First real demo, so let's see how it goes.
We're the co-founders of Canopy. We've been working on building WMS and then eventually AI native tools to help reduce the cost per order for specifically e-com brands and e-com fulfillment 3PLs. And our mission really is to just drive down the cost per order, and hopefully that lets brands increase their margins and then pass on those savings to their customers too. And we're actively building our product and getting it into the hands of customers, which we can talk about later on. I'll pass it back to you guys if you guys want to intro. It's the end of the day and I wanted to recap how that meeting went for us earlier. I feel like Afraz and I did a really good job explaining our vision, our product, and our current stage. Because they're more of a mature company, they wanted a solution that was ready today. And from the call, it seemed like the people that we had met weren't the actual decision makers. It sounded like they were tasked to find the best solution. And it also sounded like they couldn't go back to their boss or whoever it was with a proposal to trust another startup. I'm definitely going to follow up with them, send them some notes from the meeting, send them what our next couple of month plan is going to look like. Maybe things can change. And it did seem like they were enthusiastic about what we're building, and maybe in the future they could be a good fit once we have more of a mature product. Like I said earlier, this is kind of the first time we're having a more serious conversation with a brand. So I think we did get a lot of really good signals on what was truly important to them versus a lot of the conversations that we've had with 3PLs in the past. Speaking of 3PL, I have another call tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. with a 3PL. I've actually met with this person before and I did a site visit of their facility. So it's kind of just a catch up and an update on what we've been doing. I met with him last summer, so things are a little bit different now. And he was always enthusiastic about the technology that we were building. From the site visit that I did last week, we have a follow-up demo this Friday. I feel like we already have verbal confirmation that they want to move forward, but last time when I went to the site visit, I wasn't able to show them anything. This is just a confirmation that we actually do have a product. The main goal for that call is going to be setting a date for our go live. We're aiming for the following week after we start our first pilot with our initial 3PL partner. So we're looking at the second week of April for that. I do foresee us having to drive out there again to be hands-on with that transition and getting them set up, since we don't have anyone else besides us to do the training and the onboarding. And lastly, I was hit up by a VC out of Chicago, a fellow Waterloo alumni. Pretty cool. I'm thinking it's mostly from the LinkedIn posting that I've been doing, which I need to get back on this week as well. But when we have the meeting with them later next week after we start our first pilot, I'm curious to know whether they found us through LinkedIn or from YouTube. I think one of my goals for the YouTube channel specifically is to have, VC interests and hopefully customer interests, and to get that organically. Yeah, that's it for now. We're about to go to the gym and I'll update you guys later. All right, happy Friday. I feel like I haven't been recording as much this week, but we've been preparing a lot for a demo that we have later on today. It's actually in half an hour with the business that I went and visited last week. You would have seen in last week's video that the site visit went very well. The people that I met were super open about technology and very open to exploring what we had to offer. When I originally went for that site visit, I wasn't trying to actively sell. It was more just an in-person continuation of the discovery calls that I've been doing. So I didn't really have something that I could show them on the spot that day. This is just a continuation of that conversation now, where we've been preparing for the actual pilot, which we hope to start within 3 weeks. Afra has been working very hard to get all the features ready for for what they would need on day one of the pilot. So the plan for the demo is to just run through all the different features that Afra has been working on and anything else that they can expect later on in the pilot. And then I also want to talk about what full conversion looks like. What are some of the success metrics for the free pilot, the paid pilot, and then the conversion, and then what we expect that timeline to be. Something that I've been working on is the pricing. So a lot of different WMS companies will do by seat, a flat monthly rate. They will do usage-based pricing, so per order shipped. And some companies will just do a combination of those three things. So we've really been trying to figure out what the best pricing model is, but I think just sticking to what they're used to with their incumbent software is the best place to start. So yeah, that's what we're going to be offering. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see how receptive they are to our first version of the product, what it looks like, and then how we are going to continue with day one of the pilot, hopefully within the next couple of weeks here. Okay, we just had the demo and I think it went pretty well. The product looked really good. I think our idea for the product that we want to build looks a little bit different than what we had today. Not because Afras didn't do a good job, because I think our goal and our dream for it, like we set the bar really high for ourselves. And for this first version, we just want it to work and we want it to be more or less a replacement of their incumbent software. And then that lets us get data, help us, mature some of the essential features that we need before we work on any AI and optimization.
I think the demo was basically of some of the core WMS features that mostly every WMS has. So one of the things that was brought up to us that I think is really important to mention is the idea of switching costs. A lot of these companies have been working with WMS softwares for years. There has to be some real tangible benefit or ROI for them to warrant switching over to a different one. So we need to work towards first getting the core features stable, like Leon talked about, but also kind of working on some experimental features that actually showcase the ROI that the software is eventually going to provide, because there's really no incentive for a business to switch from a WMS to another WMS, even if the functionality is the same, because it requires new training and stuff like that.
If you offer, 10, 15% discount, I think those were the numbers in the call. It might not be worth a business's time to retrain their employees, send out, training or information for all the different clients that they have already on the WMS. That could be anywhere from 5, 10, 60, 100 different clients, individual clients who have some sort of access onto the WMS, which would be different from WMS to WMS. Do you want to share what you've been working on this week?
Sure. So we've been fleshing out the rest of the core features that you might have seen last week or 2 weeks ago on the whiteboard demo. But the most important thing this week has been API integrations and webhook integrations. So that's connecting the real Shopify store to our WMS to pull real order data, and also connecting the shipping API that gets rates from different carriers like UPS, FedEx, Canada Post. So getting the rates for that and actually doing the label printing. We got some labels printed, got some barcodes printed. So kind of the last of the core features necessary to actually start scanning and picking orders next week, hopefully, for the pilot.
Okay, just finished with the Friday workout. We did chest and triceps. Yesterday, you would have seen that I did legs, but I didn't do biceps, so we did that today. And I think this is the perfect place to end the video. I will say we're having a lot of fun filming and posting these for you guys. If you made it all the way this far into the video, please consider subscribing. Last video, we're currently at 1.6K views, but only 5% of viewers are subscribed. So if you made it this far, might as well subscribe so you can keep up with the content we're going to be posting every single week. So hit that subscribe button and make sure that you don't miss it. If you have any questions for us, if you want to see anything in the future, we read and we will reply to every single comment. We really appreciate you guys watching and following on with our journey. Like we said earlier in the video, we're running our first demo next Wednesday, so that'll be in next week's episode. We're going to be recording a lot, hopefully showing you guys behind the scenes on what that's like to pilot a product for the first time and some of the iterations that we're going to go through in our very first week. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next Saturday.